Okay, so in this video, going to show how to create an invoice in QuickBooks. So there's a couple of ways that we can get there. We can just go up here to this new button, and that's going to be the first one on this little menu. If for some reason this little tab is closed, then this little plus button appears, and that gives us the same menu. That's all I'm going to show you in this one. There's 100 ways to get there, but if you're creating an invoice, those are the quick ways to create that. So we've pulled up an invoice, and now the first thing that we want to do is we want to add a customer. So I've created Bob Vila Enterprises as a new customer. We've covered how to create customers in another video, so go watch that one if you need help with that part. So here the invoice is creating the customer, it's populating their email, their address, and the first thing that we want to look at is when is this invoice? When do we want to issue this invoice? So this is the day that we want it to be counted. So if this is an invoice for, let's say it's April 25th today. Let's say I'm sending out an invoice for May 1st. It's going to be for May services. Then I can select the invoice date as May 1st. It doesn't affect when I send the invoice, but that kind of signifies the period that this invoice is for. I can select the terms, which basically dictates when it's due. So you'll notice if I click due on receipt, it's going to be due on the same day as the invoice date. But if I have a period of time that I'm giving my customers to pay, whether it's 10 days here, net 10, 15 days, 30 days, 60 days, then you can select which terms you want, and they will update the due date based on that. Now you can create a new one, a new term. You can give it a custom name and add the unique time period. If it's 12 days, you want to do net 12, you can do that. You can create that there. So that is basically like the part that you're probably going to be using in updating the invoice date and the due date. You can manually plug in a specific date. You don't have to use the terms, but this is just a quick way that you can do that. It's going to generate the invoice number for you automatically. Now, if we come down here, this first one, service date, this is optional. You don't have to use this. This is something that can be turned on and off inside QuickBooks so that this doesn't even show up as an option, but I want you to see what's possible. So if you have specific line items on your invoice that you say, hey, I want to show specific days that things were done. Let's say I'm invoicing for May 1st for work, but we're going to be doing work on Friday the 3rd. And I'm going to just put services here. So we can say, hey, we're going to do service. We have the description. We can do, what should I put here in the description? Design of sprinkler system. So you can add any description that the customer is going to need to understand what is happening on this day and with this type of service. So you don't have to create a different service for design for the sprinkler systems and design for whatever. If it's a service, you can just create the service and then update the description to give more clarity. So let's say that we're going to do the same thing, but we're also going to be doing this on Monday. Then we can select services. I'm just going to copy that and paste that down here. So now we can, I'm going to select the right one. The 3rd, we're going to say May 6th. So we came back and we did that same thing again. You don't have to get this detailed. You can just put services, design, and the total. But I just want to show you how this works. So here, in your product and service, if you don't have a predetermined rate or amount, then you can put that in here. So let's say design services is $25 an hour. So I'm going to put $25 in the rate, and then quantity. Let's say we're going to come out here, and that's going to be 4 hours on Friday, and then we're going to be there for 8 hours on that following Monday. So now it's calculated the amount. So here we're not going to go into taxable, not taxable, all of that. That'll definitely be another video. But if you know for sure that this service is taxable, you have the sales tax set up in QuickBooks already, then you can select this as taxable or not, and then you'll see how that's calculated down here. So we have that set up, and it calculates the percentage, the amount. It's going to add it to the invoice total. So I'm going to uncheck those so that we have just a clean balance. So if you have any kind of a discount or refund that you are giving, or not a refund, but a discount that you're giving to your service, then you also have the ability here to add a discount by percent or value. So let's say you're doing some kind of promotion. If you book within the first week, you'll get, $25 off. Then you'll do that and it's subtracting your amount. Or you could do a 10% discount. Then it's going to calculate that percentage and take it off of the balance due. Again, just showing you the features, but not something that you have to feel compelled to do. Discounts, I'm not a huge fan of. Anyway, so now that you have the products and services down here, you can have a unique product and service, all that you need for that job. You've added descriptions so the customer clearly sees what that service or product is for. Dates if you need it. Quantity and rate breakdown, that calculates the amount. Now you have an invoice total. So now there's a couple of fields down here. So there's the message on the invoice. This is information that your customer will see. And then message on the statement. This is a different document. It's not one that really matters. Then it's not one that will really show up or you'll have to deal with very much. I would definitely use this box if there's information you're trying to use and convey to your customer. You can attach any files if there's a contract or something, or receipts that you need to send with the invoice. You can attach those there. But otherwise, this is a completed invoice. So we can either save it, we can save and send. If we have their email and all of that. One other thing that I'll show you is this little button here, the CC BCC. If we click this, if this invoice needs to go to multiple people, then we can add their emails in here, separated with a comma. If we don't want their email to show up to whoever we're sending it, then we can BCC. This is blind carbon copy down here. But this is where you can add more emails if this invoice needs to be sent to multiple people or multiple departments. So that is it here. So now we can do that and we can save and close, or we can send that if need be. So that's it for this video. We're going to go into receiving payments and all of that in a following video. So see you in the next one.